Hello, everybody, and welcome to Level the Field Leadership. My name is Dr. Rachel Gallardo, and as always, I'm very thankful that you have decided to join in to hear what we're going to be talking about today. I'm very honored to have our guest because I think it's going to be a big motivation for all of you. If you think that you're going through a difficult situation or if you just need a little bit of inspiration, then this is the episode for you. As many of you know, if this is not your first time listening, I do believe that workplace burnout is very real, and anything we can do to remove some of these tendencies that may cause us to feel burned out or feel fatigued in our leadership role, that's what I hope to accomplish. Hopefully, this will be another tool that you'll be able to use. So, without further ado, I do want to go ahead and welcome my guest for today. So, his name is Mikael Avatar. He is a leadership coach, an artist, and a former Paralympic athlete whose life is absolutely nothing short of remarkable. He was born with cerebral palsy and given limited expectations early in life, but Michael refused to let these predictions define him. Instead, he went on to compete at the highest level of sport, setting a world record in the long jump at the 1996 Paralympic Games in Atlanta. And today, he works with leaders all around the world, helping them discover clarity, purpose, and the power of small daily actions that can create extraordinary long-term change. So, Michael, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm definitely looking forward to our conversation.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm really excited to be here, and we will make the best of this.
Absolutely. And you and I are talking to each other on opposite ends of the world. So I think that's even more amazing with the use of technology, what we're able to accomplish.
Yeah, it's 12-hour difference.
Absolutely.
12 hours. That's incredible. It
That's
was
right.
impossible 10 years ago.
I know. I know. I just had my breakfast. You just had dinner, but we can still have a conversation.
Okay,
And
sure.
so for those of you that have been listening to a few of my episodes, you do know I like to base everything around scripture and just in talking with Michael and getting to know him more and reading so much information about him, I landed on 2 Corinthians 12:9. It says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." So, Michael, I just want to dive right on in. Your life began with doctors predicting a lot of limitations, a lot of barriers, and basically a lot of negativity because of cerebral palsy. And yet, how did those early experiences shape the way you think about resilience and leadership? Because that had to be exhausting hearing over and over and over again.
Yeah, I still hear them. I still, when I go out, they don't get me to go to the right restaurant. I'm stopped, and they are still going on. But in the early, um, I didn't have limitation at all. When I was 4 years old, I wanted to be a mountain climber. And
Okay.
my mom told me that that's not possible because you can't make money on it. But
Mm,
20 years later, I was a climber instructor. So my mom was wrong. You can make money, but maybe not a millionaire, but still you can make money on it. So
right.
my limitation didn't really exist. I have pushed my life always, oh, this I want to do. Oh, this I want to do. And then I'm an action guy. But the odds was against me. When you're dead for 45 minutes in your beginning of the life, normally you will not walk, jump, run. You will not eat by yourself. You will be a person with very limited things to do. But I didn't came out that way. So I had cerebral palsy. I have my own life, my own thinking. Uh, I have never learned how to live a life with cerebral palsy. I still don't think cerebral palsy I see me as anybody else. So in the beginning, they will struggle with bicycles.
Hmm.
I will never learn to bicycle. They didn't tell me because I borrow the bicycle from my friends at the neighborhood. So I learned to bicycle by myself. So
Hmm.
this is a classic example who I am. People talk behind my back, but they don't talk to me
Hmm.
straight away. So that's the complication. It
Hmm.
was a long answer, but I think
Sure.
it's very in the beginning that you understand the background. It's not easy, but I think myself as like a undercover agent because if I hadn't have cerebral palsy, they have locked me inside somewhere because I can get closer to people because I'm not a threat to them.
Right.
I can listen to people, get closer to people if I was a normal person. If normal does exist, I'm not sure about that.
I'm not either. Normal is a very subjective term.
Yeah, they have locked me. And if I had lived in the 1800s, they have cut my neck for sure.
Well, thankfully you were born at the time that you were, and you've been able to use your abilities, use your voice, and just be an inspiration for so many people. And so, you know, now I'm very interested because I want to hear your story, particularly about this 1996 Olympic Games. So, that's anybody that's, I mean, I'm not an Olympic athlete, believe me, but I mean, I
Yeah.
go to the gym 3, 4 days out a week, and I know how exhausting that can be. I mean, add, multiply that by a million, and now you're at the level of an Olympic athlete. So, how did all of that training like really impact you, and how did that transfer over into your leadership ability and what you share with other people?
The key here, there's two things that's very, very important. Whatever you should do in life, number one, I talk about passion. You have to have passion. And then when you walk down the road with passion, then you need structure. You
Mm,
need path. You need time. You need. So when I was 10 years old, this is a long time ago, um, I ran with my friend who was training to the Olympics. And he didn't come to the Olympic, the normal Olympic, but his training partner came, and he even came number 3 in the javelin in Los Angeles. Uh, Last time it was in Los Angeles, but this is a long time ago.
mm, mhm.
And he was training, and I came with him, and I ran down a hill, up a hill, and I was totally knocked out.
Oh no.
I was so tired, but there I decided I want to go to the Olympics. So I started to train,
Okay.
and I thought, how much do I need to train? So I had a group of 5 to 10 people in the beginning that I trained with, and I was the coach. So I started with leadership very early in
Mm,
my days. So
mm,
I trained and trained, and then after 10 years, they told me there is this thing called Paralympic.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I trained 10 years to the
Mm-hmm.
normal Olympic and Paralympic. I knew that's simple. So 7 years later, so I trained 17 years,
Wow.
around 15,000 hours.
Wow.
So this is the lesson that I want to tell people. I wasn't the best athlete that I have seen, but I was the most persistent.
Mm.
I had the most hours. Sometimes I trained 80, 90, 120 hours a week
Wow.
of 164 because I wanted to know where is my limit.
Yeah.
So 3 months before the Olympic, when we trained 60, 50, 70 hours, I knew I had 50 more hours in my body
Right.
because I
Right.
knew my limit.
Right.
So whatever you're doing, whatever you're starting with, you need passion. Without passion, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot train 5,000, 10,000 hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So whatever you want to do, leadership or whatever your life, you need passion and you need 1,000 hours. Of the 1,000 hours, you can continue. Probably you will get paid after 2 to 3,000 hours, 5,000 hours. You're quite skilled and you can live a good life. It doesn't matter what it is,
Mm-hmm.
violin, doctor, whatever. That's the life you have. I went to the Olympic. I broke a world record. I trained 15,000 hours
Wow.
for six, 6 seconds it takes to take the world record.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How do I use this today? I help people find their passion. I mean, I was so in love with sports. Every day, the moon early in the morning, light out, the snow. I grew up in Sweden and I ran my first training in the moonlight, big flakes of snow coming down. It was the happiest moment in my life.
Wow.
Every day, that's passion.
Yeah.
And I told people the day I don't have it, I will stop.
Yeah.
That came and I stopped. I
Yeah.
never went back.
And that's an important point because I think there are some leaders, not all, but there are some leaders that are currently in their role and they just don't have that passion, right? And so you are literally wearing yourself out for no reason. We only have so many heartbeats and eventually our time is going to cease. So if you're not truly passionate about what it is that you're doing, you have to stop and ask yourself, if I don't want to be in this leadership role anymore, why am I still here? And make a plan to
Yeah,
do something different because you're not helping yourself, you're not helping your team, you're bringing some of that weight home to your family. Like it's not fair for anybody involved.
yeah. But this is very important, what you're talking about, because I meet many leaders. They are very skilled. They were very passionate, but then they reach their goal even higher than they were expected. but they don't reset
Mm,
what's my new goal. So
mm,
the passion goes down and they start living this automatic life.
mm,
And after a few years, they are burned out. Not because they are doing the wrong thing,
mm,
because the angle of why they are doing what they are doing have to change,
yeah,
have to shift.
yeah, yeah. That's so good. We always need to have those goals. We need to have those things that we're striving for. And just to shift gears a little bit, you are a very unique leader because of the experiences that you've had, the challenges that you have overcome, the negativity that people try to put on you, and you're like, okay, I don't care what you think. Here's what I'm going to do, and then you prove them wrong, which I applaud 100%. So there's some authenticity that is there. And so what does that authentic leadership look like when someone is having to navigate adversity or an obstacle or, yet another crisis in their life? How do you remain authentic in those situations and not try to handle it like somebody else would?
This is a tricky question because I call it the mask. We
Mm,
put on a mask and then we are really good actors and we act from this mask. And
yep.
then we come to a new situation and we have another mask. So
Yeah.
we are living in a society with different masks. So I had different masks everywhere,
Mm,
but I wasn't aware of them. But
mm,
when I got aware, I try to get rid of them. And that's not even easy. That's uh, so I wanted to be authentic, to live an authentic life.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
In the sports world, that's impossible
mm,
because they will knock you down. You have to build this armor of whatever to be able to survive in that environment.
mm,
But if you live an authentic life without this mask, what will happen is that you will choose a different path. And when you learn to step one step back, where am I going? Am I going left or right? You have
mm,
to ask the question, left, do I get happy there? Right, do I get happy there? Do I have this passion? If the answer is no, don't go anywhere.
right.
Really find what's your goal. I have so many people, they have no clue where they are going. And
Mm,
that's one of the things. They are competent, they are leaders, big companies, some in the movie industry. I mean, they are really, really successful, but
mm-hmm,
inside, totally empty
yeah.
because the gap between the outer world and the inside is too broad.
Yeah.
So I try to fill this conflict by releasing this mask so they live an authentic life. I had a very famous person, and I met him 5 years later. I had him for quite a long time, And I said to him, we were standing outside the newspaper, what do you call it? And I said, oh, you have still your front page on the newspaper. What do you think? What's the greatest thing you reflect when you see that newspaper? And he said, 5 years ago, that was a story. That front page, that's the truth.
Mm,
So he was still famous, but different front pages, but that was more true in his life.
right. And it's okay to make that shift. I think a lot of people identify or they how do I say this? They think that this particular role is all they are, and so they're afraid to let that go because if I'm not doing this thing anymore, then how do I identify in some other area that I want to pursue? And if we're not doing something like you said that we're passionate about, we are going to start to little by little, it will eat away inside of us. And that's where you get that burnout. And the body has a way of remembering these things. So, if you're starting to have like excessive headaches or you're starting to have stomach issues or excessive fatigue and over or under eating, over or under sleeping, like those are some pretty key indications that what you're doing is not what you should be doing. And it's time to do a little bit of self-exploration to figure out, okay, what's my next chapter? Because just because one chapter closes, that doesn't mean that you're done, right? Like it's okay to reinvent yourself in other ways.
Yeah, and when you challenge yourself, the the challenge have to be reachable,
Hmm.
and it has to be in all different fields. I have goals privately with my girlfriend, with her children, in my exercise. For example, I have to do exercise.
Hmm.
And if you're trained on my level, my brain is so corrupt from my sports experience. It's very hard to do, to be uh, exercise, only do for exercise. No
Mm.
goal, no, I mean, it took me 10, 15 years after I stopped training that I could go to a gym and not be this whatever.
This warrior like maniac in the gym.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my first wife in Sweden. We went to gym and this was like 9, 10 years after I stopped. She took my hand. Come, let's go out, Michael. Because she saw my eyes that they were black. And they were like, wow. So you have to have different goals
Hmm.
in different fields because most people they have a goal in their profession,
Right.
but what's your goal with whatever outside that?
Hmm.
You don't have that list.
Right.
Many people don't have a list for what partner they want to live with.
Right.
They don't have a list for anything outside their profession
Hmm. Well,
because
what you're talking about
yeah,
there has to do with having a lot of self-doubt because, some people think, well, I'm only good in this area, and so they're afraid to like explore other areas. So, I mean, do you have any like processes or recommendations that you can give people to help them work through that self-doubt so that way they can realize their potential in other ways and in other industries?
For example, the first, this is the best example for my life. How do I get so passionate that I have for my sport? How do I find that somewhere else in my life? It took me some years to figure it out, but I found it in art, in paintings.
Mm,
Why? Because I could paint, I didn't care. I didn't care if I should sell it, not sell it. I was free. Like when I ran in the moonlight 4 in the morning, I was free. I was happy. And I
mm,
found that in painting. So I told myself, I will test paintings. So let's do 100 paintings, concrete. What happened then? Yeah, you paint at home first, but the paintings get bigger and bigger, so you have to fix a studio for your paintings.
mm-hmm,
Studio costs money, so you have to start to sell your paintings, around 30, 40 paintings. So the whole process that you have with a goal of 100, you have to go through. And
right.
then you can decide, do I want to be an artist? Do I want to be only a painter that have a hobby? What do I want to make with it?
Mm,
That approach I had with videos. I started doing YouTube videos,
okay.
Instagram videos, 100. Next year, I did 100 live, 100 days in a row for practice. So
Okay.
now when I do these pods, I have practiced doing being in front of the camera, so I know how to do it. So if I didn't practice 100, 100, I haven't been here today.
Yeah.
I'm not the best talker, podcaster, whatever. I just do, I love this. Why do I love this? Because I think my story will have an impact. And your audience, I cannot reach them, but you can.
Mm,
So if I tell a story, you can use my story now, but you can use that further down the line.
mm-hmm,
So I'm a storyteller, and I want this magic click. You know, when you're a leader, you have this magic moment where everybody fits together
mm,
and everything just
yeah.
lifts up. That's the magic moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, you can't pay money for that.
I agree.
That's like, that's why I do this. I love art, but I love this, to find this magic, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So my answer to you on the question, test a lot of things.
Mm,
Are you happy? Do you have passion? You don't need to be the best,
mm-hmm,
but you have to test 100. That's my level? What's
Hmm.
your level?
Hmm. Hmm. It's interesting that you say that because when I started this podcast, that was the goal that I set for myself. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have 100 episodes, and then when I get to 100 episodes, I'm gonna decide if I keep this going or not. And so I made it to 100, and I was just really kind of thinking about it and praying about it, and like, okay, what do I do? Do I keep going? Do I not keep going? Because it takes time to do this, and it's a hobby of mine, and it's something that I enjoy, but had a lot of other things going on that needed my time, and so just whenever I thought, okay, I think I'm done, I had people reach out to me and say, oh, I listened to episode 64 or I listened to episode 33 or whatever. And it really inspired me. It really
Yeah.
helped me in this particular situation. And then I had people saying, hey, I'd like to come and talk to you. And it's just amazing. Like just whenever I was getting ready to just kind of wrap everything up and close it down, that's when I got this flood of people that either encouraged me or gave me more ideas to keep going. So and I thought about going and like taking down those earlier episodes because
Yeah.
they're so
No,
bad.
no, no,
But I'm like, you know
no,
what?
no.
I had no idea what I was doing. And I think that there's a beautiful progression, at least I think there is. If you look at episode one compared to where I'm at right now, and this the amount of things that I've learned from the people I've had the privilege of speaking with and learning about podcasting and everything else. And I think that target goal of 100 that really resonates with me because I was in the same spot. Like, okay, let me get to 100 and then we'll see what's going on. So that's funny
And
that you had 100 too.
and the thing is with this, when you describe this, Rachel, you don't care if it's good or bad.
Right.
You
Exactly.
just want to fix it to 100. And
Right.
it's life is about learning by doing. And
Exactly.
somehow people have forgot that you can't think life.
Hmm.
Life is action.
Right. And if
Is
you're waiting to be perfect
action.
in something, if you're waiting to be perfect before you even start, you're never going to start. Like it's not
No.
going to happen.
So I think this is my sixth, 19 or 20th podcast. So my goal for this year is maybe 30 to 50 or maybe 100. It depends on how many I can do.
Yeah.
And if I conquer 100, maybe I start my own podcast
There you
and
go.
do
Yeah.
100. I don't know.
The good thing is you don't have to decide right now, but it's a goal. It's something
Yeah,
to keep in mind for the future of what you may want to do.
because when you pick a road, you don't know where you will end up
Yes.
because your view opens up. That's their beauty. You have no clue. But
Yeah.
if you don't pick a road, nothing will happen.
I
Nothing.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Well, we don't have a whole lot of time left, but I do want to just give you 2 minutes I call it the shameless plug. So anything that you want to talk about, as long as it's not illegal or unethical, I turn the floor over to you to discuss anything or to share with the audience anything you would like for us to know.
Okay. So um, I need 50 people to test my golden app. I have a web app. You go to my website, you have a link somewhere, whatever. So, what is this app about? I was a scientist, what you call it, evidence based assistant for 10 years. And so I took all my notes from coaching, from my life. I was a poet, I was whatever I have been, I have notes. So I have took my notes, cerebral palsy, Paralympic, and I did evidence-based app 180 days to train your brain step by step, to take a step back, to reflect on your life so you can pick the right way in life.
Mm,
For me, that's it should have been my third book, but it went an app instead. So I recommend to go to my website and find this app. You can even download my second book, and it's free for now because I need people to test it so I
yeah.
can adjust it so it will be perfect. That's my latest creation. So thank you for giving me, I don't know, 1.5, 2 minutes to
Yeah.
explain this. Free app, and I need test people.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to include all of your social media and your website. It'll be located there in the show notes. So if anybody wants to go take a look at that, they can certainly do that. I do hope you get your 50 people that can give you that feedback that you want, so that way you can modify and make any sort of adjustments for
Yeah.
your app, for your
Oh,
book, and for everything.
maybe I need 100 if I since I talk about 100.
Maybe 100 would be better, right? More information is always better than not enough. Well, Michael, thank you so much. You have truly warmed my heart, and you've just given me so much encouragement, so much inspiration this morning. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia. Well, it was very interesting talking different angle. Your question, all the pods, they have different angle. And it's
Hmm.
so inspiring to meet people like you that have
Oh,
questions, different audience. Thank you so much for letting me be on your show.
well, thank you. That really warms my heart. And for those of you that are listening, if you liked what you heard, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button to wherever you happen to be listening to the sound of our voice. And, share this episode with somebody that you think might need a little bit of encouragement, somebody that could benefit. Tag me, tag Michael. We're happy to come alongside that person to help in their journey as well, because leadership can be hard, and I don't want for anybody to think that they have to be isolated or to do this alone. So if they need some help, some support, we are more than happy to help. As you guys know, I'm also out on social media. All of that can be found in the show notes. So if you want to go follow me, then feel free to do so. But I just hope everybody remembers that you are a leader, that you're made to be a leader wherever you're located at in the world, whatever you're leading. And I truly hope that the things that we talked about today can help develop the roots of your leadership so you can weather any storm. Take care of yourself, take care of your team. I fully believe that you can do this. And until next time.